Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
We are Kyle-less.
We are Kyle-less in your garage still. Though yesterday I was over at Legendary doing a Nerdist thing.
Oh.
And I got to see the studio again.
And what's
Studio's
it like?
nice. Real
Is it?
nice.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a table with mics.
Okay.
Guess what we got right here? Table with mics and your couch. And it's nice because you sometimes have lemonade.
I offered you water and you didn't take me up on it because of your coffee.
Is that lemonade? I don't think so. No.
Would you like lemonade?
I do not. What I have is I have my coffee. It's working
okay.
out for me.
All right.
But sometimes you have lemonade and it's lovely.
Always.
That's all I'm saying.
Always.
Oh, you're
Yeah. I just
at all times you have lemonade.
It's so hot and gross. I went right to water, right to.
Oh, fair enough. To keep hydrated.
The Lord's lemonade.
The Lord's lemonade. All right. So yeah, we are Kyle-less because we just realized that we did two. But forgot the week that you were, like, he's gone next week and you're gone the week after.
Right.
And so...
So this is for July 2nd. And,
right. It's July 2nd, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday I was at Nerdist because I did a show on Nerdist's, not their Twitch channel, but maybe it was their Twitch channel. But it was called Natural Selection, and I was a judge on it's a debate show. No prep.
Oh, my favorite.
Yes, just riffing. And these two guys over-prepare, and hilariously, they've known each other for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So they just yell a debate about something silly. Mine was Westworld versus Boston Dynamic. It was like, it's called Natural Selection.
Yeah.
So it's like something that's fictional versus something that's real. Westworld has robots. Boston Dynamics makes robots.
Oh, I see. Do you watch Westworld?
No. Did I know that the name of the dog or the back flipping robot was made by Boston Dynamics? I did not. So I went in with zero info. I did watch an episode of the show before I went in, and I knew how little I had to do.
Okay.
So, and they were both fascinating and funny. So it was okay.
And who are they?
They are the two guys who did a lot of Dan
That's
and
as
Kyle.
close as we're getting to a name.
Dan and Kyle. But the host is Danny Fernandez. She used to do stand up, and now she has this show, and she goes out and auditions and does I think she did stand up for like 2 years.
She got out of stand up.
Yep.
How does a human do that?
Well, here's what I think. You didn't really want it. You didn't want it.
Perhaps.
Because the thing is when you, let's say, so anyway, so Danny Fernandez, did you hear about this thing with her though?
No, but wait a minute. What if like you finally come up with a 7-minute set and you're like, that's excellent. On to the next challenge.
Right, the next.
How
I'm
amazing
rock
would that
climb.
be?
That would be
Why
amazing.
can't I have that kind of a brain? Because then I could do a million other things at night.
Yeah, you could.
And a million other things with my kid instead of
And
dragging him to shows. And I brought him the chair that I bring to swim meets. I brought to the West Side, and I just popped it open and had him sit outside with his crutches while he did a set last week.
You got a special chair? What's happening?
Those little, chairs that hold
chair.
beer. Yeah, exactly.
You got yourself a travel chair, do you?
I got one in my back.
It's
back
nice
seat.
right there in the back seat, right there in the trunk, just in case anybody needs to sit down. Sometimes
a travel seat and a bunch of water. You know what?
You're not wrong.
I get tired of waiting for bartenders to give me water. I bring my own.
Oh, right. You're not wrong. I have a case of water in my trunk right now. I've also committed to it. Plus, Andy always thinks the next big earthquake's coming, and that we got to have a case of water in the trunk
and a full tank of gas.
Full tank of gas. Though he likes to go down. He's got a spreadsheet. He likes to. Likes to know what the gas mileage is.
No,
we went on that holiday.
That is so 1978. My parents.
He is his own dad. Is
oh
what
my
he
God.
is. He is his own 1970s dad. And so I currently know what my 2013 Corolla is doing. Anywhere between 29 to 35 miles to the gallon.
2013. That's nice.
It's all right. It's a perfectly nice.
Driving a 2006 Honda.
Oh, you got the.
I got it at CarMax. It's really. I find it very wasteful to spend any money on a car.
Right. You clearly like are just like, I just need a vehicle.
Yeah, I just need to get here. And
I think I've only known you with cars that are like super. I mean, I'm a used car fan myself.
Yes.
The way I always think of it as is I'm inside the car. I don't have to look at the piece of shit I'm driving. You can look at it.
Right.
Once you get a nice car, because
Yeah.
it'll be nice for me to look at.
maybe when he starts driving, I'll get I'll spend money on a safe car, like a Saab or whatever. Did you know? Did I ever tell you this? That Pam, she used to be on Coach.
Okay.
She was a
You are dreaming if you think I've ever watched Coach.
Pam Stone. Do you remember her, the comic?
I do remember Pam Stone.
Okay, so she quit comedy. Now she's another one I think didn't want it. Like she got on Coach and then she went to
was like, "Oh, that
Residual
was great."
Heaven. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. She's fine. So, but I opened it for her at Cobb's, and her opening joke. Now Coach is on the air. It's like in the top 10, and her first joke is about her shitty car. I'm like, come on. You got to write a new opener when you are.
You have to write a new opener because
Everyone knows you're rich. That's why they're here, because they've heard of you.
Right. And I had the shittiest of all cars and wrote jokes about those shitty cars.
Yes.
And I remember when I got my new car, it was a 2000, it was my first car payment, 2003 Toyota Corolla. It was 2008 when I got that car. No, 2006, whatever.
Wait, okay.
But
it's only 2 years old.
It was a couple of years old when I got it. So, but it was my first ever car payment. And so I was talking to my dad, and my dad goes, well, you got to keep that Mazda 323 joke, though. That's a good joke. And I was like, I'll go to the vault if I need to, Dad, but I'm not going to, I don't like to tell a joke about something that it's hard to tell a joke about something that's no longer true.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to do that?
It feels like a lie.
It feels like a lie.
Oh, yeah.
And more than I used to lie a lot, but this
In your personal life.
in my
which is
personal
fine,
life, which
as far
is
as I'm
entirely
concerned. Yeah,
different.
please. It's necessary.
I'm over it. Somebody did an acronym at me today, and it was because I'm being driven mad, like we all are, right?
Yes.
So the acronym is, and I love a cheeseball acronym, as you could imagine. Jackie Cation, fan of a cheeseball acronym.
Yes.
Think. That's the word.
Oh,
it
man.
spells the word think.
Right.
And it's before you say anything.
Uh-huh.
Think.
The hoe
And then-
is not Kate Middleton.
You know, you can tell that you write monologue jokes because I've never been able to riff off of an acronym.
I wouldn't call that a riff. I would call that a cry for help and an end to the podcast.
Well, it's over, you guys. It's been great. It's
We're done.
Exactly. It's been a great run.
So what's think mean?
Thoughtful, honest, inspiring, necessary, and kind. Here's the thing.
So all your jokes have to be vetted
not
like
jokes.
that?
I know.
Okay.
I know. We can apply it to comedy, but
Right.
let's first of all apply it to me talking out loud to people in humanity. I am often thoughtful. I am always honest.
Yes.
Sadly, to a fault.
Yes.
I am sometimes inspiring. I'm willing to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it necessary to say some of the things I say? It is not. That's
No.
where it falls apart. Is it kind? Often not. Often not. That's also where it falls. I lose steam right around N, is what I'm telling you.
You it's a thin, but it's a soft end. Thin.
Right.
Sometimes you could. Well, it's a
Right,
cough.
you don't pronounce the K. It's think without. Anyway, so Danny Fernandez.
Right.
Fernandez?
Yes,
Am I getting
that's
that
what
right?
you
I think it was. Did
Yeah,
I say that
D-A-N-I,
earlier?
right?
Yeah, D-A-N-I.
Yes, I think we just started following each other on Twitter.
Oh, fair enough.
Yes.
She was the host of this natural selection
Okay.
thing. I did, and
Does it disappear? It's not a disappearing. It's not a disappearing.
No, there's
app.
too much production. They've
Okay.
got to have it
Right.
somewhere.
Okay, gotcha.
So it isn't like it must not be a Twitch. Though it was live when we
Okay.
did it. But get this: is she had an issue with how do you do this on your Facebook where you just confirm friends?
Yeah.
I do to some extent wish I had not, but over the last 2 years I've unfriended and blocked a bunch of people, and it's been much nicer.
Right.
But she did the same thing, and so there was a guy on her Facebook who also followed her on Twitter or Instagram or something like that. On Facebook, on his Facebook page, she saw. Or maybe it was Twitter or Instagram, doesn't matter. It was a video. He was at the gym, and he took a video of some woman's ass.
Oh, I
Remember
read
that?
this thread.
That was
right.
her.
Right.
And so all she did, he posted it publicly on his Instagram.
So someone he doesn't know,
he's at the gym.
Was it a fat ass or something?
There was some sort of trouble with this person's behind. So all of his burly buds.
It's hard enough when you're not perfect looking to go to the gym and feel like people are staring at you, and you have people saying, "Don't worry, no, they only care about themselves."
Right.
And then one asshole is like actually staring at you and videotaping.
Right, and videotaping and posting it publicly.
No.
And so all she did was retweet it with a, "Hey, I called this guy's gym," because all she knew about him was the name of the gym was in the video.
Oh my God.
And so she called the gym and was like, "Hey, this asshole did this. You might want to stop him from doing that again."
Wow.
And that's all she did, right? Good for her.
Yeah.
And it blew the fuck up because he was like, and then the Hardwick thing happened,
right?
And she works for Nerdist, so he brought it up again and said that she was bullying him and harassing him, and then she said that she had swatted him, and she was like, "I don't know where you work, I don't know where you live, I don't know you. All I know is that one thing that you did." And she did take the extra step to call his gym and tell him that they needed to make sure he didn't do that anymore.
Right.
But that was the only thing she did.
Yeah.
And she was like. And Mary Sue had picked it up because of Hardwick.
Who's Mary Sue?
MarySue.com. It's like Vulture, but anyway.
Oh,
so it's another website. It's
I'll go.
But it's interesting. Yeah,
I'll add it.
You'll add it. You'll read another
I'll
thing.
read it.
You'll always read another. Anyway, but it decelerated quickly because that was all she did.
Right.
That was she wasn't harassing him.
Yeah.
She was pointing out that he had been a dick.
That actually would attract less attention than it had she tagged the gym, right, on Twitter.
Oh, right.
As opposed
Instead
to
of
just
actually
a direct phone call.
Oh, right. Maybe.
I think that's less. That's less attention to him.
Right.
With calling the gym instead of like, "Hey, whatever the gym is, Planet Fitness or whatever it is."
Right. Please keep an eye out for
because then all the Planet Fitness followers or people looking at it will find it and start. Then it could become even a more
bigger
giant thing. So
one
could argue that she did the less harmful,
right?
If it is
kind of, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the only other weird story, and granted, we just have an hour. So the other weird story is I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, and she's doing a recurring thing on a sitcom. She got 3 weeks in another city doing the sitcom, and she's having the time of her life. So I've been talking to her, and she's like, "It's really, really fun, but I could never do a movie, I've realized." And I was like, "Why not?" And she said, "Well, so instead of being hungry for 3 weeks, I'd have to be hungry for 3 months." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." And she's like,
"Who is it?"
So she, it's just
okay. Yeah.
Like she's getting shit from the costuming people that she's gained weight.
What?
Yeah.
She's so skinny.
She's tiny.
Jesus.
You know who gets work? Tiny people. So it could be anyone, you guys. We know so many tiny people. And she's like, I want to eat, and I can't because I gotta.
Wow.
She was like, "I may go buy some goldfish." The candy. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, she's already got the part, though, right?
Right.
They're not going to let her go. You can't replace her.
Right. Well, what you gotta do is you just gotta let out the seams a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
That's your job. You got a union job where all you have to do is pull out some thread and sew in some new thread.
Right. So bring it.
And not give somebody an eating disorder.
Right. That'd be ideal. That would be ideal.
So
if you didn't encourage
the Vulture article about LA comedy.
Oh, right,
came out.
And that's right, about the money making opportunity.
Funny, I mean, because the writer, threw out a bunch of emails to a bunch of comics, myself included.
Right.
Yeah. What?
Oh, I was just going to say, he didn't email me.
I know.
But he couldn't email everyone.
I know. That's why I gave you the room to say it, because I would think the same thing.
You would totally think
I would
the
be
same
kind of
thing.
pissed. I'm like, hey, I'm on a podcast with her. Why can't I get an email?
What about that?
Yes. No, I respect your resentment, and I understand
my tiny resentment, whiwhich I'm working through by venting it. You guys, go ahead.
Yes. So I said in the email to him, I go, well, I'd love to be honest about the clubs, because the clubs here, they
don't pay.
They don't pay, and
they don't even pay like pre-strike New York money.
Right. No, not at all. But I sometimes, I mean, how many times have you done a Tuesday 10 o'clock show and there's fucking nobody there and they've got a full bar staff and you're like, I always think, well, the weekends that are full offset this stuff and we are able to perform. We're able to perform in front of 7 people, but the clubs don't make money when we're only performing in front of 7 people, especially if they're our friends. Right. You know, they're going to buy the very minimum drinks or whatever. So to me, at least how I make it okay in my head is I'm like, this is, they're putting on 30 shows
any money
and they're only making money off of 4 shows a week.
Right.
And they're letting 30 go on.
Yeah.
So to me, it kind of works out. I don't know if that's true and they're not going to open the books for me or anything like that. And it, you know, I don't know. That's just, it's
but
not.
There is no money.
You cannot make a living as a comedian in
Los Angeles, California.
You go on the road to make your living, or you have a different job. Like I have a writing job. That's how I make my living.
Right. I quit my day job in 2003, and now I'm on the road anywhere between 30 to 45 weeks a year.
Right.
So there you go.
So yeah, but I didn't think he'd print that as part of my response.
Right, you were like,
that was just a to you. That wasn't part.
Yeah,
I should have put it in a different font. I had no idea.
Have you thought about the only part I want you to quote is the stuff I put in quotes? How about that? I'm just going to send you.
So I'm like, well, it's I probably won't get booked at these clubs if I say how little they pay, and then like all the other comics listed
just named
the clubs and what they pay. I'm like, now I'm just a total sniveling coward.
And the thing is let's just do it. Let's just name names right now.
No.
Ice House, $35.
You get 35?
If I do 15 minutes or more, I do get $35. But there's no parking. You got to pay for parking. $5.
You got to pay $5 for parking. I get like I haven't worked there on a weekend in a while, so I think
it was
more like
sometimes
20.
Sometimes it's 15 or 20, but like it tops out around $35. Comedy and Magic, $50.
Yeah,
that's always $50 per spot.
So if you do two on
shows,
Saturday, you're getting 100. Yeah,
you get $100. The Improv anywhere between $10 and $20, right?
8. Sometimes they give you 8, right?
Right. Sometimes it's 8. Sometimes it's 10. Sometimes it's 15.
You do fill out tax forms for your $8,
right? But blessedly, they've started like in the last 5 years or so. They started giving you cash, which is good. But if they give me $10, then I tip.
Right to the valet.
Right to the valet guy.
There's no parking
$5.
there. Yeah,
there's no parking.
5 to the valet.
5 to the valet. And if I get, and I don't want a comic water. You know the difference between a comic water and a not comic water?
A bottle, one's bottled and one comes from the...
No, the bottled one that they give the comics is like a Nestle tap water one.
Yeah.
And the one that they give when you order it is a Fiji. So if he gives me a Fiji, I give him $5.
Whoa.
So there's the $10.
There you go.
So and that's fine. And then Flappers, I don't think ever pay. Well, that's not true. I think it pays if you host.
Pay.
The weekends pay.
Yeah.
And but those guys, and I swear to God, Flappers is more of, and they're all great.
They hustle harder than any comedian I know in terms of like having stuff 24 hours a day going on in
4 different freaking rooms, man, or 3.
And
but it's constant.
It's so many spots,
so much stage
time, and.
Do you remember when they had?
I mean, I don't like. I always worry about Flappers because how many times have you been at the Yoo-Hoo and there's like 8 people there? You're like, how are they doing this?
Right. I don't know.
I mean, that's why they have so many things going on.
Right.
You know,
and because they usually have an open mic going on at the bar. Mm-hmm. They have the main room. They have the Yoo-Hoo room.
Right.
And then they used to have. Do you remember this when they first opened? Probably 3 or 4 years ago. They used to have a show occasionally out on that porch.
Oh yeah,
on the.
We've done a podcast on that.
It was so loud.
Yeah,
but there's work to be done, and
I don't know that. The New York clubs are very different. I mean,
they get a lot more walk up.
They get they have. I mean, some of them are packed almost every night. Like the Cellar, they're
printing money at the fucking Cellar.
Money. Yeah,
it's the best thing Louis C.K. ever did.
Yes,
it's one of the best things he ever did.
Yeah, right. You're right. That is totally tied to Louis, actually.
Because of that show.
And they have satellite rooms that are like walking distance. So the comics that like work the Cellar on the weekend, oh my God,
you could make a living. That's what we were talking about. That you could almost make a living.
I'm thinking you could do 12 spots per, because if they each have 4 shows. And maybe they don't have. Say there's 10 shows total per night when you have all the rooms.
For all of them, okay.
And they're making, I think, at least $150 a set. So that's
okay.
$1,500 cash.
That's
on
amazing
Friday,
on Friday.
Now the
And then
thing is
$1,500 again on
you
Saturday.
can't work any other rooms, right? You're only working there. And then if SD decides she doesn't like you, which happens, sometimes gets cold on somebody.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're like, I got no income.
Wait, if
and I
she's
haven't
booking
worked
you on
any
the
other
weekends,
club in 3 months.
Can you not work the other clubs? Or does she just
It's
frown
really.
on it?
I think it's really no. You can.
You can,
but
it's hard geographically.
Yes.
Because they're way down.
Right. I mean, if SD emails you and gives you
Would
10
give you
spots
10
a night,
spots.
you're like, yeah, I'm not going to try to also sneak one in at Gotham.
Right.
Okay, I'm
Right.
good.
Right.
Thank
That'll
you.
be plenty. Thank you very much.
So then you get used to that. That's the danger of like really aligning yourself hard with one club. You get used to it, and then
Yeah.
that disappears.
Right, because there's always new comics coming up.
there's always new comics.
People moving
you
in
have
from
to
out of
be
town.
Chris Rock or Amy Schumer to know I'm good at every club for the rest of my life.
Right.
Like you have to get at that, or Gaffigan or whatever.
Right. There's
But
a
for the
handful
rest of us,
names.
it's like we're in and out. Like the Stand closed down this month. They are reopening in a bigger location in September. But the Stand gives me like 2 a night when
Yeah.
and every
I love
show
that
on the
room.
weekends.
What's wrong with that room?
It was too small for them. I mean, they're doing really well, so they
Yeah.
got a bigger location. It's good. It's good.
It is good.
But when I
I hope it's not too
put it
big.
for because I'm going to New York tonight.
Because remember when they moved Cobb's?
Yeah,
And old Cobb's was so beautiful, man. That had the good low ceiling.
I know. And
then
you
they
went
were like
downstairs
and
to
they didn't.
it.
They didn't just go from like I think it was like a 90 or 120 seater,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it
to
was
a
sweet.
400, 550 seat.
That was
theater.
a violent.
It's a
different-
It was an active crime scene as far as I'm concerned. The
To
first time I
intimacy and comedy. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I played the little one.
Right.
I opened for Patton. It was a delight.
Mm-hmm.
The next time I opened for I think Kevin Nealon, and at the new one, and I was
Right.
like, nope.
Well, you have to be a giant to fill that room now
Yeah.
at Cobb's, and you used to just be. You could be Pam Stone with your sob joke.
Right. You could just do whatever you want.
So I forget what we were talking about.
You're talking about just
so the
money.
Stand. So so they I put in for June avails, and
Yeah.
I didn't get anything. And I was like, oh my god, Patrick turned on me. I always expect someone to
Right.
turn on me.
Immediately, you're like, oh, it's over.
I'm always grateful for one more month that you're not turning on. me.
Yeah.
That's how all my relationships, right? But
That feels healthy.
A couple, I also work stand up New York, which is way the fuck across town, and
Yeah.
usually I'm like barely making each spot.
Right.
So she really hooked me up, and then I just started. I'm going to work the Broadway, and so I'm going to be on the West Side mostly in this next little trip. But
Right.
it just makes you realize, man, I'm just, it's but. You can't turn down tons of spots.
No.
I'll plant
No.
myself at the club all night. I get a free meal.
That's it. That's the
It's a good
delight of
deal.
it. It is a good deal. Tonight I'm opening for Todd Barry at Typewriter.
How fun!
It'll
so
be
they're
fun.
doing like headliners on the weekend, Friday
They
and
must
Saturday.
be. They must be.
'Cause
like
you
this
just
last
did Maria
weekend,
last
I just
weekend,
did
right?
Maria last weekend, but only one night.
Okay.
This one I'm doing tonight and tomorrow, and I don't know if he's having somebody else do it because his long set is just more crowd work now.
Right.
He's loving crowd work. I can't wait to see it, quite
Yeah.
honestly, because I don't mind crowd work, but I love jokes.
Yeah.
But I love Todd Barry.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely love. But I haven't seen his long set in 10 years. And so I'm really looking forward to what's it going to be? You know?
Yeah, and he and Judah and Jimmy Pardo, all three of them, they do mostly crowd work, but their responses to audience members are so different from each other and so unique and
True.
And I think because their personas are so set, they've all been doing comedy for so long,
Yeah.
they immediately know how they feel about this person. They, when you see someone who's newer doing crowd work, you can see they're sort of like fumbling around.
Right.
And at some point when you are more yourself on stage than
Ever.
you were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You have a visceral response to somebody immediately, and that's half of what the audience loves.
Right, which is why
you
I don't
making
do crowd
decisions.
work, because sometimes when people interrupt me, my visceral reaction is rage. Nobody wants that. That's not the hilarity. Hit and miss. It's, but.
Yeah. Well, and then I did. This will drop on the 2nd of July, and I will be at Acme this weekend.
Oh, my
5th
gosh.
through the 7th.
Wait, so are you doing the whole week, the Tuesday through Saturday?
No, I'm doing a Thursday because the 4th
Friday,
of July
Saturday?
is on a Wednesday.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 shows.
Yes.
My sister disappointed that
she's not going to be home.
that they're going to be on vacation that week, not going to be able to see you. But she wanted me to tell you that there is a new lap pool in downtown Minneapolis.
I'm excited. Is it at a Y or is it a city pool?
It's I don't know, but she said that she would hook you up with the link, or you could probably. It's a brand new lap pool and downtown, and Acme is downtown Minneapolis.
Oh man,
so
that's good.
It's a quick lift right over. And,
I keep working Minneapolis in the summer when it's awesome, and I can't imagine why anyone would move from here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But sometimes around February, when
I think I work Rich Miller's room when he had a. Did he book
Knuckleheads.
Acme or did he book?
He booked Knuckleheads at the Mall of
Yes,
America.
I worked that room in January, and it was horrifying.
Yeah, because first of all, Knuckleheads had the hotel was across from the Mall of America,
Right.
And you
and it's like you have to cross over 7 freeway lanes to get to it. It's
and
not
sometimes they
just
would
a
not
crosswalk.
send a car.
Oh yeah, I mean you're going over an overpass to get to the comedy club by yourself at night, or
home
in the snow.
Though you could get the MC to drive you back. It's because I remember doing it after I moved away.
You know, these MCs, when are they not working? They're picking you from the
They're picking you
airport.
up, they're driving you
fucking
around.
doing raffles between comics.
Right.
They got to sit
Telling
and
people
watch
where
you
the
go
bathrooms
long.
are.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. The poor MCs.
Mm-hmm.
It's you got to value your MC.
Definitely. So what was I going to say? I don't know.
All right.
I had stuff locked and
well,
loaded.
this week I'm the week this comes out, I will be going. I'm going to Connecticut and Maine with Maria. I wasn't going to.
Oh, cool.
It was part of the weeks that she canceled. I have yet to update my calendar because I took all the stuff off.
Yeah.
And now I got to put it all back on the calendar on my website, and I'm just tired. I'm trying to write this romance novel, and
How's it going?
Well, here's what happened.
Right.
I said to myself, you know how you write a romance novel? You make a pot of tea.
No, that's how you read one. That's not how you write one.
You may be onto something because I made a pot of tea.
Oh, no.
I drank that pot of tea, and then you know what I did?
What?
Made another pot of tea, and another pot of tea, and then I sat down and I wrote a paragraph.
Oh,
So-
you are an actual author. That's author behavior right
that
there.
feels like author behavior, doesn't it?
Oh my God, it's awful, Jackie. It only feels good when it's done. I'm telling you.
I direct messaged Gail Carriger, who writes these kind of they're steampunk mystery romance kind of novels that are, some of them are like teen novels, young adult novels, and some of them are adult, and they're all just good, silly fun. And I was like, and she is, I follow her Instagram, and she's constantly talking about how much she loves tea. Yeah. And I was like, so how long do you steep tea? And this is what I did. And I told her that I had made the tea and then not written anything. Yeah. And she was, and I'm surprised she didn't say, oh, now you're getting the hang of it. And, but she just said that she steeps, this is a great story. She steeps the tea like longer than 5 minutes. Do you ever make tea? How long do you steep tea?
I pulled out of the story mentally about the second time he said steep, I was like, this one's not for me. I'm just going to let her wind down.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I don't steep. I
powdered.
I boil the water in a teapot that I got at a comedy show where people brought shit their exes gave them that they wanted to get rid of karmically. So I have someone's ex-boyfriend's teapot.
Is it a tea like a water kettle?
Yeah, it's a kettle. Yes.
And you put the tea. You put it in the kettle.
No, I boil the water.
And then
I
you
thought this
pour
is
it into
how
something
everyone
else.
did it, including the Queen of England. And then you have a tea bag in the mug, and you pour water in the mug.
Oh, right, like a person. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I did was I bought a teapot because I decided that I was going to be a tea drinker when I went to Ireland. I went to Ireland. I bought a
be like
teapot
a brewer,
and a cozy. I bought a tea cozy because where we stayed for a week with my friend Maureen Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
She made tea, and then she would pour us each a cup of tea. And then she would put a tea cozy around the teapot, and I was like, "It's adorable."
I will be living that life one day.
I want to live that life, is what I thought to myself.
Yeah.
And so I thought, why wait? And so I bought a teapot, and I've used it less than 10 times. But I have purposefully drank an entire pot of tea so that I could fucking make a pot of tea.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, so you've written a paragraph, is what
Yes,
you've
I've written a
ultimately
paragraph.
saying.
And I've also looked at all of the romance novels that I have sitting around the house, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what this is going to be, but I'm just
read enough. You instinctively know.
Well, I mean, all I can swear to God, all I'm going to do is just write a romance novel, and if it's funny, I'll try to punch it. If it isn't funny enough, I'll try to punch it up, and if it is, and then I'm going to call it, and if they don't want it, I'm going to be okay with that. That's where I've let that. That's what's going to happen there. I'm going to write these 2 chapters. I'm going to write this outline.
Yeah, I'm
going to submit that to them, Audible, and then they're going to read it, and they're going to go, well, this is just an entertaining romance novel. I'm going to be like, right. I hope, at the very least, it is that.
Have they paid you yet at all?
They're about to.
Oh, okay.
I've invoiced them.
Oh, man. Now it gets real.
That's
now you
that's
actually
what I
have
said.
to turn something in.
Right, exactly.
And that's what they need to be doing. They're never going to get a book out of anybody if they don't pay in advance a little bit.
Except for that, somebody, I was talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And you were talking about getting advances and all these different things.
Right.
And it was just, one of the many people that I know who is a writer and that also listens to the show, and they're like, that's not how it works. She's living a blessed life. and I was like, I think she knows that. I think she knows that most people just write their books and then hope and pray and submit and hope and pray. So,
well, here's how I got. I told you how I started writing books, right?
Because of the
Sherry Shepherd book.
No.
Okay, no. So, Dan Dion, the photographer. Yeah. Okay, so he was friends with the woman who used to be my agent.
Okay.
And the Sherry Shepherd, who used to be on The View, is a comedian. Okay. So she was publishing a memoir, but she wasn't going to write it.
Yeah.
She's not a writer. But,
okay.
So they had a ghostwriter, and the ghostwriter just disappeared.
Wait, did she get ghosted by her ghostwriter?
Boom.
She
Ladies
did.
And gentlemen. Double G.
GG.
So, I don't know how Dan thought of me. I think because I wrote these little I would write like a little weekly. I used to call them This Week's Hoax, where I'd write like a little weekly story on my website. And so he just threw my name out to this agent. So she called me and we talked, and I didn't know what anything meant. She's like, it needs to be about 70,000 words. It's due in 3 months. And I was like, okay. And I already had a full-time writing job.
I have never heard this story. This is the greatest story in the world.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I couldn't believe it. And then I think so then I met with Sherry, and she's very nice. And so we got into this routine where I would call her, and the way the book is just like kids. It's really very basic, like the chapter, kids, parents, growing up, right? Yeah. And so I would just go, all right, go. And then she would just start talking. I recorded it. My ex-boyfriend transcribed it. And then I would take that and then just sort of shape it into something. So it felt
just
like a book
and not,
and
not just a
transcript.
Yeah.
Right. So, so that's how that got written. And then, and then that was done. And then that agent was like, "Oh, you could ghostwrite." I'm like, "Whatever, income, please."
Right. I would like to make some money.
And then after that, I met with this guy named, Michael, the guy who's Let's Get Ready to Rumble. Michael.
That's a guy.
Yes.
You know that guy?
No.
Let's Get Ready to Rumble
brother.
Okay.
He's got a brother named Bruce. And Bruce is that guy for MMA, right?
Okay.
So Mike, oh my God, why can't I? People are probably screaming at us now.
Or so not.
Are You Ready to Rumble is the boxer guy. His brother Bruce does a version of that for MMA called It's Time. And that's how an MMA fight starts.
Okay.
So he wants to write a memoir. So he's in touch with my agent, and she said, "Hey, you can meet with Bruce." And I'm like, "Okay." So I met with him, and it didn't work out,
Okay.
Even though I started studying MMA. I mean, I know a little bit about it.
Right.
I'm not Adam Hunter, but I know a little bit because of I kind of started going deep into it. And
does Adam Hunter need to be on the Dork Forest about MMA?
Oh,
is he dipped?
Yeah, he works for them.
Oh, I did not know that.
He's like Joe Rogan Jr. a little bit in that way. Yeah, I think he works for them. He's always posting from. He's always posting from some fucking fight.
Okay.
Anyway, so the three ladies from Shitty Mom contacted they work with my agent. Two of them work with my agent, and they want a book. They have the title Shitty Mom, and that's all they got.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So then my agent
and
said,
that's how it really began.
You do a lot of comedy with about parenting. Yeah, that's then I wrote that, and then so. Yes, I got a. So the first book was an emergency. Me being able to meet a deadline. With Sherry Shepherd, and I got paid for that. The second book was I did a couple chapters as a sample. And they liked it and they sold it, and then I got paid for those couple chapters by the three women.
Okay.
And then the publisher paid me an advance to write the book, and then I got paid. You get paid in installments.
We know about the shitty mom thing, and then
and then all I did with Dead People Suck is I pitched to my former publisher who went to another. My editor went to another publishing company. I said, let's do Shitty Mom of Grief, and then she was like, okay. I mean, I know it was way too easy,
right.
But also, I do have a very specific voice, and I had, I was like, basically, this book I already wrote, I'm going to write it, but about cancer.
Right.
And I wrote a couple sample chapters.
And it had been successful enough. Shitty Mom has been successful enough that they were like cool about it. Yeah.
So yes, in a way, yes, very much, not the path that everyone goes through when
other
they're
people
trying to pick.
And there are so many paths, and that was not.
But
so
also,
that's
writing a novel is a different beat. Like, these are comedy essays. It's basically stand-up comedy on the page,
right?
Written to be read, and not spoken necessarily. And I'm already a comedian. I'm already there, and I'm already a writer. So it's not a huge leap for me. I'm not writing a novel, which would be a gigantic leap for me.
Here's the weird thing: Audible. Do you know who pitched me for this gig?
Who?
Dan Dion.
No.
That's who I'm working with.
No way.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Dan Dion enjoys
the photographer.
Right, and enjoys the Laurie Kilmartin, Jackie Cations of the world. Thank you, Dan Dion.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's awesome. And
I have to tell you, though,
he's taking some amazing photos, though.
Oh, yeah. We were doing a photo shoot for 45 Jokes About My Dead Dad, and I didn't...
With him?
Yeah, Dan. Yeah.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
And I thought he confirmed the location, and he thought I confirmed the location. So we get there, and the guy is like, no. And
really,
I hardly ever, I don't usually yell, but I was like, I got to the point where I said, fuck you.
Oh my gosh.
To a stranger.
Right.
Who hadn't been contacted and was in with his legal rights to say, you can't use sit on my coffins.
Right.
Because I was going to lay on a coffin and, Yeah.
What'd you end up doing?
So embarrassed
I can't remember
at how
you know
much
what I
was
need to
yelling.
do? Buy another copy of Dead People Suck, because I've given away my copy,
I have a few
sitting around the house, do you?
I might have one.
I bought 4 copies.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'd sent one to somebody that was too recently grieved.
Right.
Oops.
There's a chapter for that, but they don't want to read it yet.
Yeah, too soon. Too soon. Mm-hmm. I was like, just sit on it for about a year, and then read it.
Right.
Oh, by the way, we can do Comic of the Week.
Are we already at 30?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Faith Choyce.
Faith Choyce, you guys. I love Faith Choyce, for she is a delight. Guess what I didn't do, because Kyle isn't here, is look up her Twitter.
I think it's Faith, Faith, and then Choyce.
It's YCE, so it's Faith Choyce.
Yes.
And if we're wrong, it'll be right in the notes. You guys,
I think we're right.
It's too hot. It's super hot, and but Faith Choyce it's smart and silly, and she is she's really fun to watch. I enjoy her work.
Yeah.
So go find Faith Choyce, you guys. Other than that, I would like to say this about our last episode.
Yeah.
Anthony Bourdain is a national treasure. Gordon Ramsay,
oh my God,
seems like a piece of shit.
Ridiculous.
And I got them mixed up.
You thought that Gordon Ramsay had killed himself.
I thought that Anthony Bourdain was Gordon Ramsay.
Wow.
It turns out I don't know who anyone is. And that's fine. I don't care. Do they know who I am? No.
Do you think Kate Hudson killed herself? Or do you know it's the purse lady?
Kate Spade.
Yes.
I know she's the purse lady only because she's the purse lady. But if you would have said that Kate Hudson was the purse lady, I would have said that doesn't sound right. Is Kate Hudson the daughter of Goldie Hawn's daughter?
Who was in...
who looks so much like Goldie Hawn, it's hilarious.
Yeah, she was in Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the sunglasses on the cover of Almost Famous.
Yeah.
That's her. I think she's like a lifestyle guru. I think there's some actresses where they hit 35 and they're like, you know what, I'm going to be a guru.
Right. I'm not going to get work for these next 15 years, or I don't want to be somebody's mom,
or I want to eat.
Or they want to finish a sandwich.
They heard about your friend's story and were like, fuck that, I want to eat.
They lived my friend's story, and they're like, I'm going to have a sandwich. And though I'll tell you this is someone, I had did Comedy Brunch the other day,
right.
Kyle Clark. He was the one who essentially it came out during Comedy Brunch that I had gotten Gordon Ramsay and Anthony Bourdain mixed up. Mm-hmm. And Kyle was so funny because he goes, oh my God, I completely believe that you got those two mixed up. But it was him, Brandy Posey, Andrew Solomson, Moon Zappa, and Bill Dwyer.
That's a great crew.
That was a really fun breakfast.
That's good conversation right there.
Yeah. It was really fun. And we were talking, I can't remember what it was, about meditation, I think. And Moon said that she accidentally meditated one time on a plane. And the way she was learning this meditation where it was all about breathing through one nostril and then breathing
Hillary Clinton
out.
wrote about that in her book.
In her book?
Yeah, what happened?
And, you can't breathe deeply on a plane for 20 minutes.
Right.
And not...
I'm trying it right now.
Well, you can do it, but this is not a petri dish of humanity. And so she left that plane with the worst sinus infection for like 2 weeks. She said she was
she
sick.
Holding one nostril down?
Probably. And how weird is that for her seatmates? But Moon, I asked her about that, and Moon Zappa just looked at me and she's like, it's fine. I fucking love Moon. And,
she's very nice.
She's very nice and really, really funny. So
I feel that I need to throw a party, but I think my
you want a gathering?
A piece of shit. Yeah, and I keep thinking, let me just sink a little money into this. Like I'm floating. Like I've just got tons. Like I don't have tons of money.
Yeah.
I'm very stressed out.
Right. But you want to throw a summer party?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You should totally throw a summer party. We were thinking about doing it, but we don't know when. Or I mean, like literally, our schedules are so. But it's summertime. I would like to have
be
a
like
barbecue.
August. Yeah, or maybe like July 3rd or something, like a pre-4th of July party.
Maybe, like you come back on. This is July 2nd.
Yes, I came back yesterday.
Right.
I hope I survived.
I believe you.
You know what happened?
What happened?
Okay, so this whole week has been. I almost burst into tears from stress, and I feel like I'm past that, except for when a guy won't let me pose on his coffin.
Oh, right.
But I don't get that stressed out. But my mom's still in the hospital. Every day, new requests for me to bring things to visit, to see her and stuff.
Oh, right, to prove that
just going to the hospital is a pain in the ass.
It's pain and it's a drag.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no in and out.
No. It's
you have to pay
production.
every time.
Yeah. And then and my son still the crutches, and we had we went to an endocrinologist this week, and of course because I'm working, everything's got to be the first appointment of the day. That means I'm up at 6:30, and I don't write on my Artist Way journal. I get my son up, and he's like, why do we have to get the doctor? It starts off the day with me arguing and pleading, and that's not how I like it. Right. I like to live. Okay.
It was really nice when you got to swim in the beginning of the day. It was nice.
And everyone's on board that I'm way less bitchy when I've had a swim.
Yeah.
The whole my mom and my son. Okay. And my babysitter also had surgery this week.
Bummer.
Everyone's out.
Everyone's out.
And so I'm doing everything. I'm keeping track of everything. And that's not my personality. This is the part of mothering I fucking hate and my kid's at this writing camp, and, he does this. I was telling you off before the podcast. He'll write a story that's inappropriate for a children's thing involving murder.
Right, and nobody cares that he is a child.
Yes, right. And then he gets disciplined and annoyed, and then he can write a regular one. Like he starts writing a joke with the word fucking cunt in it. Yeah, and then he takes it out. Right. Yeah. But so
he doesn't actually do that.
No.
Right, just so people know.
The comedy version.
The comedy version of what he's done is he's written a joke that all the punchlines are swears, and the
because
second
you're
just trying to get it out.
Maybe it's not the same reasoning of like, I don't think this is very good, so I better add $50 to it. But no, for him, he's like, I think he has like a Tim Burton sort of sensibility, which nobody likes in this day and age out of a fifth grader, sixth grader.
Right.
So that's happening. Complaints from that lady. It's all shit I got to manage. And then and then my mom didn't know when she was coming home from the hospital.
Right.
And I planned this. I'm away for 9 days.
Right.
So she's got to be here. Otherwise, where does my son go? So I'm like, so I might be buying an airplane ticket today, the day of we leave the flight, for $1,000 to bring my son on crutches with me for 9 days in New York and Bloomington.
Wow.
Fuck no. And then he misses, writing
9 days
inappropriate
of
stories of
right.
Next week's.
He's got to get in trouble for his first draft.
Yes.
What's happening?
So it was all just building up, and now my mom, she's coming home tonight.
Oh, she is.
Before I maybe 2 hours before I get on the plane.
Thank
I'm
God.
taking the red eye.
Right.
And
then I tonight. Yeah.
I got this aqua bike for my kid to do knee rehab in the pool, and that's been delayed. And so they're like, it'll come sometime on Friday. And me not knowing if my mom's going to be, it'll be sitting on the front porch, and it's like $1,300.
Right.
And anyone can take it.
And it's 30 pounds.
It just came.
Oh, it came before we started.
Yes.
Oh.
Look,
it's all coming together.
All the little threads are coming together.
There you
but
go.
I have been so stressed and irritated. So then, so
you were twitchy when we did sets the other night.
Yes.
Yeah, because you were just like, oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But look, it all worked out.
But wait, so then I needed a babysitter on Wednesday and Thursday, right?
Okay.
Because I wasn't going to cancel spots.
Right.
And
but your babysitter
yes
is surgeried.
Right. So I typed, I went to a female comics closed site on Facebook, and I just typed babysit just to see who came up as willing to babysit. Because I didn't want to insult anyone.
Right.
By,
so
having them going, I'm working on my
babysit?
Tonight Show set. I don't babysit anymore, so just to see who. And so a comic popped up, and I contacted her, and she was available, and it was Amy Miller.
Amy Miller.
So
who was willing essentially to hang out with your almost 12-year-old son.
Yes, right.
You just need an adult.
Right.
It's not like he's going to lose his mind.
Right. No, but
it's just nice to have an adult
on
at
crutches
night.
and he's at night.
Yeah.
Right. So Amy goes, yeah. And then she was offered a spot. And I said, take a spot. That's fine. And she goes, why don't you take it? So it was at a drag club, right?
Oh, weird.
Yeah. And so I get there.
Fun.
And then so I'm there at the club, and I was totally reminded of starting in San Francisco and doing the Miss Haight Ashbury competition, which was this. My God! It was all drag queens and me, and maybe one other non-drag queen.
Okay.
And it was just craziness.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and I think that was one of my earlier stand-up performances, and in front of the most generous audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, great.
That's awesome.
But. So as I'm leaving Amy and my son, I'm like, I might not come back. And Amy's like, I could be a good mom. And then I head out the door. So then I get in this club, and is it Roz? Is her name Roz? I think it's Roz. So she's like, well, it's Pride Week, and sometimes there's nobody. It was a light audience.
Okay.
And she goes, it's Pride Month, not week, and that sometimes that hurts
the numbers.
Everyone's out doing stuff, and then I was like, oh my God, what if like a white male terrorist comes in and starts shooting all of us?
What just happened? What just happened to the story?
That's how that's my brain. Okay, and then I'm like, because my last words to my son were, I'll probably never see you again. And Amy would have been like, she took my spot. That could have been me. Like, that would have been like a sub-story had I been murdered.
And she would have had to raise your son.
Yeah, she would have,
because she didn't get to do that
offered.
Spot. That's it. I had a moment today where it made me laugh so hard because I was just talking about the current situation and how I wanted to murder everyone.
Right.
And then I was sort of half crying and half laughing, and I said, "But I don't have any soldier skills," and it made me laugh so hard because it's just like, that's your problem. It's because I don't actually, just a note to self, I don't actually want to murder everyone. I wouldn't mind if some people were removed.
Died naturally of heart attacks.
But it would have to be, and I was also talking about this, how it has to be a lot of people. Because let me name names, you guys. That's what this podcast is all about. Mm-hmm. If Donald Trump dies,
right,
we have to deal with Mike Pence.
Right.
He's horrible.
He is.
We've turned over a rock, and 30% of every horrible worm in the world is currently employed. So
it's bad.
If Mike Pence dies, we have to deal with Sessions and McConnell.
No, third in line
McConnell?
is Speaker of the House, which is currently Paul Ryan.
Oh,
but if the Democrats take the House, President Nancy Pelosi or whoever.
November cannot come soon enough.
I know.
Anyway, so and I don't know that will fix it, but whatever.
2 of the writers at Conan did a survival camp weekend where they were taught survival skills.
Really?
Yeah. I got to do that.
Yeah.
It might have just been a Saturday.
Do you want to go alone? Do you want to go together? Do you want to go alone? Do you want to go together and then do a podcast?
Yes. Now,
we're doing a live podcast, by the way, in Montreal upcoming.
If you are in Montreal, please come to our live podcast. Yes. We need to prove to industry or anybody that we're a viable team that could be hired for something.
We could be hired for something, you guys. We're available to work individually, together. Here's a great idea. We each do 30, and then we do a podcast.
Then a live pod, yeah.
That's
we could
a 2-hour show.
Every Saturday. I could fly out every Saturday.
Yes. We could go to any town you'd like to come.
Yes.
We're going to need you to come up with, to do that, at least $2,000 each plus air and hotel.
Dude.
So you know what that is? That's not much more than $5,500. So if you would like the Jackie and Laurie team to come to your town, find $5,500.
How did this happen? And I love this commercial.
This is
I love this commercial. You went into some sort of auto commercial that I've never seen in you, and
it's true.
It's a shame we don't have advertisers because you're fucking great at this.
Well,
you're Elliot's daughter.
Guess what? I just advertised on the Dork Forest for this condom, tampoons. They're organic tampons, and they're called Lola, and they're organic cotton. And for every box of tampons, this is a little ad for them, but this is the reason I took the ad for Dork Forest.
Right.
Is because for every a box of tampons you buy from them, they donate a box to a homeless shelter.
Is this your way of pointing out that you still have your period? Your very
here's the thing,
passive aggressive way of telling me that you're still fertile and I'm not.
I still have a really old baby, you guys.
Hey,
I can't possibly.
We're the same age.
Yeah.
A friend of mine from high school just had her first kid. Same age
She's
as
an
us.
idiot. She's
she's not, and she's fucking the happiest person ever.
Well, good for her.
I'm just saying, it still happens.
Saying, I'm gonna. What would I name my child? Caesar? Would I name it?
I don't know how the fertility happened. I don't know if it was aided. It's none of my business.
Oh no,
I'm not trying to have one. But yeah.
But there might have been some science involved.
Possibly.
That's what I always called my sister. My sister's got 2 kids, and I called them science babies.
Yeah,
because science was involved. But they are. There's. Oh my God. This is a weird story that doesn't have anything to do with comedy, but my nephew, my sister's son, who's probably 9 right now, desperately unhappy today because the incredibly shitty Chinese restaurant that he loves is going out of business. And my sister's like, it's such a horrible Chinese restaurant. I'm sorry for him, but it's such a terrible restaurant. It was a buffet. I don't know if
kids love a buffet.
Any sort of Midwestern Chinese buffet.
Oh my God,
there's
sounds
trouble.
Awful.
Yeah, there's
and
always
delightful.
Pudding. Who doesn't want chocolate pudding with their Chinese
classic
food?
Chinese food is pudding.
Exactly.
They're known for it.
It's the Chinese Earth right now. That my Chinese population joke.
Yes,
is working okay. Though I did try it one night at the lab last week.
Right.
And
the night that I saw you.
Yes,
okay.
Which you can't really count that.
That was a rough crowd.
That crowd. It was interesting what they wanted to hear because your set was so different than what I'd seen.
Oh, really?
You were like, zzz, you were fishing around looking for a joke that these fuckers would like, and it made me laugh so hard. I was like, wow, that got a little blue. Nope. And then she's going smart. Nope. Still nothing. Okay, she's dumbing it up. No, still nothing. And because like 4 of them.
Hey, I'm full service. Okay?
You are full service.
I fucking try.
For a
I
dozen
never give
people.
up. Right.
You didn't give up. There was a dozen people. 4 people at all times were pleased, but they were a different 4 people for every damn joke.
Never were all 3 tables happy.
Nope. Same with my set.
Yeah.
But I did try that. And now the Chinese stopped accepting everyone's garbage this year. So 2015, they stopped their population control thing. And now they're stopped accepting everyone's garbage. And they're like, well, why don't you figure out your own fucking world?
What's
good for
happen,
them,
man? We're gonna die just in time. It's gonna be awful when we're
Can we name
in
the
our
show
90s.
We're gonna die just in time?
Yes. It's gonna be awful. I look at my son. My
I
grandchildren
know.
I'll probably never meet. I'm so sorry.
I
I recycle
know.
like a fiend. FYI,
Right.
kids.
Yeah.
I work
you
hard.
You were constantly
I took your
recycling.
straws and I cut them open so they wouldn't get caught in a turtle's nose, and then I recycled them. No, you brought another straw to my house.
I brought another straw to her house.
Look, I'm
Last
sipping
week,
a
your
hard
reusable
plastic
hard plastic straw. It's actually hard to suck out of that. I don't like a straw at all.
I dare
you. Know
you.
what I got?
mean,
I
not
got a
this one
mouth.
because it's not washed, but
Right.
it's fine. Did you have this one last week?
No.
Okay.
No. I just like, you know what? I like a cup. Like a person, like an adult human who doesn't need a damn sippy cup.
Right.
I'm a human.
But
anyway.
I guess because iced coffee is a little tough on the teeth when it's going down, and also discoloration. That's why I was listening to something on NPR about this yesterday.
People want to get past their teeth?
Yeah.
And right into their gut.
Right,
You're
so
like,
it doesn't yellow your teeth.
there was that bar that I used to go to, the Safe House in Milwaukee, where you'd sit in a chair and they'd pour booze right into your face. Milwaukee was great in the 80s. Anyone? So
You had a good 80s.
Oh, my 80s were amazing.
I mean,
you guys.
mine were just food-oriented and very depressing. But you sounded like you really
Well, let me
had
tell you
fun.
something. I'm sure somebody knows. There's going to be a Me Too moment with some dude who's going to be like, she was such an asshole. Because ever since you posted that thing that I'm the last nerd you can trust,
Oh, no. I set you up for a
you
fall.
set me up for a fall.
I'm so sorry.
there's going to be some huge reveal where, but I don't think anyone's going to be surprised that I was kind of a jackass.
That's
you know
the
what?
thing. If you don't stray from how people perceive you,
Right.
you might get away with it.
I might get away with it. Look at Jim Norton. I mean,
Oh
the
my
thing
God.
is I swear to God, nobody is ever going to expect Jim Norton not to be the guy he is.
Right,
Because he's always
right.
been that guy.
Right.
So
And he's actually oddly respectful of people.
he is oddly very sweet sometimes.
Yes, he does, when he does, I think his sexual predilections are definitely, they're totally, as far as I know, from what I know of Jim, completely consensual to the point where he's,
It's an exchange of
exchanging
goods
money.
and services. Yes. It's always money.
Everyone's on board.
The only thing I don't like about, and I don't know if this is true about Jim Norton, know in your hearts, but I know that there are some, I was talking to some male comics, and they go down to like Cuba and South America and buy like young girls.
Patrice used to do that, and it was awful.
Yeah.
And I heard that towards the end of his life, because he was in a long-term relationship and he had a stepdaughter, that he was sort of realizing
That women were
"Ugh."
people. Yeah.
Yes.
It's
But
always, it's
no,
a huge reveal to some dudes, and I'm not
Brazil
even kidding.
is where they go. They go to Brazil.
They go to
And
Brazil.
it's- and,
Sometimes they
like,
go to Cuba.
When they talk about that, it's like do you realize these girls are so desperate? And they're girls.
They're girls.
They're so desperate and they're so hungry that's why they're doing that.
That's why they're
okay
doing
with
it.
you can still maintain an erection because someone
can still
actually
maintain-
needs the nourishment
Yeah.
from your semen.
Yeah.
It's calories. You can still maintain an erection.
Right. And
really.
by the way, there's a movie set that is looking for you. No, but the I'm not kidding that they realize that these girls are human when they have girl kids. That these
Yeah.
are people. And you're like,
Right.
I don't understand how you could not realize that women were people until you had a girl child. That's so weird to me.
I know.
Because I've always known that boys were people. But boys have always got to be people.
Right. It's their egos are involved. They see them. They're like, wait, that girl is half me. she can't be treated like I treat other girls that aren't half me.
That's an interesting.
I will tell you though.
Yeah.
Before I had a kid, I had zero empathy for anybody. You know.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
And now I have way too much empathy. Like every news story, I feel in my heart
like
and
an
it hurts.
open wound.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I mean, I know how it happened. I had a kid, and then all of a sudden,
that's great.
I was
actually,
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like I was making myself bulletproof against loss.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, whoever dies in my life, I'll be cool with it.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to have anyone in my life.
Yeah. Oh man,
it was a good plan and it worked for 40 years, Jackie.
It did work. It works as long as it works. I mean, that's the whole thing about all that stuff is that it works until it
got
no
me
longer
through
works.
a lot of shit.
Yes. A lot of things got me through a lot of shit. But then all of a sudden, and then there's nowhere to hide. Like once you open that door just a little bit to emotion or kindness or any of that stuff, it just seeps right into every fucking pore. And then you're like, and your life is so much bigger and better because of it.
Right.
But it's also like, you're like, oh Christ, this is exhausting. But the rewards you get from being a decent human being are actually much greater than, and I think worth it. Oh, allow me to take a stand, you guys. The rewards you get for being a decent human being are
I won't have
it.
that kind of talk on a podcast.
It's true. We're almost at an hour.
Oh my God.
It's kind of exciting. 40 seconds. Why don't you plug something? Where are you going? Acme. You're going to be at Acme this
weekend.
I'm going to Connecticut and Maine. With Maria.
I every once in a while I sell some books on my eBay store. I sign them, and I will mail them to you.
There you go. You can do that.
I initially thought I would be flooded with orders. I'm like, oh, what am I doing to my weekends? But it turns out it's a very manageable amount of orders. It doesn't really take too much time at all.
It's okay. It's all right. So why don't you open the floodgates? And I still have another podcast called The Dork Forest. People could listen to it.
Yeah. So my book, buy Dead People Suck if you can. And also please come see us at Montreal, or if you know Canadians that are up there,
Yeah, follow us on the Twitters and find out where we're going to be doing stand-up and come see us.
Is that an hour?
That's an hour. See you later.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.